Met a kid. Oh God, he's from Franklin High Gym here in Franklin, Massachusetts. A matchup between the Franklin Panthers and the North Attleboro Red Rocketeers. Lucas Frere joined by Jay Horrigan for the action, and kind of a tale of two different teams so far this season, Jay, with Franklin up there at the top of the standings, coming off a little invitational down in Florida, and North Attleboro still trying to get on track in their young season.
Yeah, Josh, definitely. Pleasure to be here with you tonight. And Franklin, like you said, was down in Florida for the holiday tournament. Had a great time down there. Ended up going 2-1 and got to play Wareham. You travel to Florida and play a team from 40 minutes away. I'm sure that had to be exciting.
Yeah, I think for both squads there, anytime you can get in those trips, I know it's special in terms of the memories you can make at this level with, guys you might not be able to play, have too many more games left with. So
yeah,
certainly.
If people remember, Franklin was actually supposed to go a year ago and play in that tournament, and they got as far as their gate at the airport over Christmas week, but they were flying on Southwest, and that was when Southwest canceled 2/3 of their flight, so they never made it down there. They couldn't get them out until the tournament was over. So the tournament re-invited them this year. The downside of it was the kids that were seniors last year didn't get to go. And that's, I think, kind of the fluke of them actually playing Wareham. They wouldn't have brought two teams from Massachusetts down. It's just the way it worked out.
And we were speaking off broadcast, too, about some of the teams and athletes that Wareham's seen, too. So even though they're a lower division team, took them to what we believe overtime is certainly a close matchup between the two squads, and it's set Franklin on to a different path tonight as we get prepared here for the national anthem.
We also ask that everybody else can draw your attention to the flag and the playing of our national anthem.
National anthem getting finished up there. And Jay, before tip, when you see a team or two teams like this that are in such stark contrast in the standings, what does it take for a team like North Attleboro to kind of beat the giant here tonight in Franklin?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of things, and I'm sure some of it right now, Coach C.J. Neely is telling his teams. It's the team that's the quote-unquote giant kind of looking ahead, living off their past laurels. They're undefeated in league play. They've only got that one loss to a Florida team. And also, North Attleboro needs everything to go right. They're really, even marginal calls have to go their way to be able to stay in this game.
They have some youth on their side, too. Only one senior on their roster, so sometimes I think that you might want experience out of some of these teams, but in a game like this, not having that experience kind of leads you to have a little more belief. So opening tip there, won by Franklin. Henry DeGiorgio with the ball now as he swings it over to Caden Sullivan. Now working over to Andrew O'Neill, back up top to Sullivan. Looks like a 3-2 zone set from North Attleboro as O'Leary drives, now kicking to DeGiorgio. O'Leary pulling up from 3 off back iron, no good. Collected by the Red Rocketeers.
Just a little off there on that shot, but O'Leary, one of the tremendous athletes on this Franklin roster.
One of the better driver and cutters as well, too, as North Attleboro works the other way. This is Peckham working with the ball now as he gets it to Obachowski. Obachowski works it into the corner. A triple attempt there from Frasoli, no good. Back the other way, Franklin. O'Leary drives, baseline, stops. Now kicks back out to Giorgio, corner triple. No good there as well. Offensive glass, though, being crashed by the Panthers. And now O'Leary back up top, working back and forth with DeGiorgio. Sullivan going low. Now good look into the post, and one for Sean O'Leary.
Real nice inside pass there to O'Leary, and O'Leary, despite the context, successfully puts it in, and he'll shoot one now.
In terms of the high school level, I think around in this scene, Jay, he's one of the stronger players, fights through a lot of contact, really makes a home out of the free throw line as he knocks that first one down, and full court pressure here from the Panthers.
He does a lot of that as well, Josh, on the soccer field. He's a very physical, aggressive player in soccer.
Back the other way now, O'Leary, as the Red Rocketeers still look to get going. He kicks out. Now is O'Neal going, kicks out once again to Giorgio. Working with it, now into the corner. Driving baselines, Herndon up with a good layup move there, and a quick 5-0 advantage for the Panthers.
One of the breaks the Red Rocketeers could have used didn't go their way. O'Leary, when he dumped that pass off in the lane, could have easily been called for the contact on the defender, but the officials passed on it.
So now the Red Rocketeers get at the offense. Opachowski directing, it's picked away now by Caden Sullivan. Sullivan goes up with the layup, and it's good, so defensive presence there. 7-0 quickly for the Panthers.
Franklin is, and it's always been a hallmark of Coach Neely and any of his teams, both at Foxborough and here at Franklin. They play incredibly tough defense, where another steal right there leads to a basket.
Quick timeout there from head coach Derek Smith. A 9:01 to start us off here in the first quarter as DeGiorgio gets the layup to go, and it's been multiple players and a lot of defense once again from this Franklin team that's led them to this early run. And for a team that's obviously not looking to fall into the trap, Franklin starting off well.
Yeah, Franklin, obviously, from the opening tip that they won, have been in complete control. And you know, it's 9-0 already. We're 2.5 minutes roughly into the game, and there is a chance of this getting away before we hit the 4-minute mark, getting away from North Attleboro. The one advantage I think North Attleboro has going for him, Josh, is Red Rocketeer. The nickname is just an awesome nickname, so I love that.
Big fan of the nickname. Again, it's like when you start to adjust to all these different schools, and I had no idea that that's what it was going to come in as, and you'd think it could be one to Red Rocketeers.
Yeah, I don't
know
where
off.
They came up with that, but they did.
So now they work the other way. It's Jack Peckham. Now to Johnny Obachowski.
North Attleboro is averaging, giving up 63 points a game this year, and they only score 43.9.
It's almost polar opposite to the Franklin Panthers as Bradley Herndon moving it the other way. Another steal to bucket the other way. 11-0 the run up to now. So Obachowski swings to the corner. It's Connor Casey that was there. Now he tries to again. Caden Sullivan almost picking it off. Obachowski again. Hounded by the two guards in the backcourt. A triple attempt's no good from Frasoli. Caden Sullivan will let it drift out of play. Be another possession here for Franklin as they're up 11-0 run.
As everybody, or most people who are watching or listening to our game know, I'm a referee guy. Referees tonight are Mark Bissonette and Jeff Cardell. Mark is the young guy, 24-year-old official and does a tremendous job. Actually, is doing a lot of college for only being in the officiating game for about 3.5 years. Does a great job. And then veteran official Jeff Cardell along with him.
Kind of the same story of the two teams, a veteran team
Yeah.
and the younger Red Rocketeers out there, as now they look to halt this Franklin run. A corner three ball there, and it is good. That's Zach Robichaud with the triple. And it gets the Red Rocketeers and the board back the other way. It was an O'Neal three that was no good. Now the Red Rocketeers try to get out and run. Peckham working through, defended well by Sullivan. Gets to his right hand, a floater short off the front rim, collected by Sullivan. Panthers the other way, O'Leary to the rim, up through contact, and he draws the foul. We talked about in the broadcast before, there's no fear from Sean O'Leary going to the basket.
Nothing at all. You watch, I think, one interesting thing, just the last couple of trips each way. The Franklin defenders, when a North kid goes to the basket, they are immediately putting their arms straight up, and they're keeping them up. And that makes it harder on the official to call a foul on them. The North Attleboro player on that one immediately dropped his hands once there was a contact, and it was much easier for the official to make a call.
And
that comes with coaching, I think, Josh.
Yeah, the discipline for sure is evident in this Franklin team. Is now the other way. It was another attempt from Jack Peckham. See that discipline's led them to where they are now. Other way quickly for Franklin. Bradley Herndon gets himself his third basket of the night.
Real nice move there by Herndon.
Quickly back the other way. The Red Rocketeers looked like there was a little bit of deflection there. Doesn't matter. Obachowski gets it back, puts it up and in. Now Franklin quickly working back the other way. And it's a triple that time from O'Neal. No good. The Red Rocketeers work it back the other way. Obachowski now going back up top. That was Robichaud, no good. Caden Sullivan looks to direct traffic here. Get a little back and forth here as we're under 4 minutes in this first quarter. O'Neal, the three ball, gets it to go. The lefty trifecta.
That was a nice, smooth, easy shot there for O'Neal.
Another corner three ball for the Red Rocketeers. It was for Soli. Hasn't had any luck so far. O'Leary now driving through the middle of the paint. And now it's going to be waved off, called on the floor. O'Leary drawing another foul. Looked like O'Leary noticed that he had the guard. Didn't have a lot of help behind him and saw that space in the paint and tried to take advantage of it.
O'Leary, a very smart player.
So he works with it now in the post, and look at that strength again, and he's fouled.
That's going to be a foul, I think, on. No, they called it on number 4.
Chris Hainwich went to the floor there too. A little insult to injury. Then O'Leary dropped the shoulder. And now wide open three there. Andrew O'Neal probably couldn't believe how open he was there for that three ball.
Yeah, no kidding.
His second of this first quarter. It's got Franklin out in front, 20-5.
Steal.
Henry DeGiorgio the other way. Gets the layup to go. And 22-5. This is, we got another steal there by DeGiorgio. This Franklin defense has been impressive so far. Now driving is Sullivan, kicks to Herndon. Oh, great pass fake, up with the left hand,
man.
another layup. Bradley Herndon out in front with 8 points for the Panthers. And another steal for DeGiorgio. Nope, knocked away, it is. Collected by O'Leary. He drives through, gets it up, and just couldn't get it to go. Draws the foul. O'Leary going to the free throw line once again. Common theme here. Defense and Sean O'Leary at the free throw line. O'Leary knocks down the first, and Jay, I asked you the question to start the broadcast, what they're going to have to do to avoid falling to a team that obviously, with the stark contrast in the standings, North Attleboro is still looking for their first victory on the season. It would appear that that pregame talk and the preparation from Coach C.J. Neely has paid off thus far for the Panthers. So that's Obachowski working with it. Now kicks it over to Frisoli. Frisoli got whacked on the arm there. And it'll be an inbound on the baseline now for North Attleboro. Going to call it on Caden Sullivan. Got him on the arm.
Well, at that point, as an official, North is down 20 points. The fouls were 5-0. You're almost looking for something.
DeGiorgio, I don't know if he's going to get credit for the steal or it's going to go to Bradley Herndon, but another transition bucket. As now North Attleboro, Jack Peckham have to pick up his dribble there. Gets it now to DiGilarmo. DiGilarmo up, and he draws the foul. And that's something North Attleboro is going to have to do with this early deficit. They're going to have to get to the line not only to stop the clock, but to get some easy looks and chances.
Looked from our angle that O'Leary cleanly got the ball, but the official having a different angle. That goes off the backboard. So that's it. That foul shot should have been worked too, if he called it. But O'Leary looked like he may have, from where we were, looked like he had a clean block.
And like you said, straight up and down the arms, and the discipline is the second free throw no good from DiGilarmo. Now Bradley Herndon the other way. We're under a minute left in this first quarter. Lucas Frere and Jay Horrigan bringing you the action on Franklin TV. As the Panthers work it around. That was DeGiorgio up fake the triple. Now it's going to be kicked out for Caden Sullivan, no good. And they worked it around the arc there a couple times. North Attleboro works the other way. Thought about it, kicks it back out. That was DiGilarmo. No thought about it there. And
nice shot.
Jack Peckham, a deep triple.
Way back.
So getting it under the 20-point deficit. A good couple buckets here at the end by North Attleboro. As once again, Franklin is working it back around. Now tipped away that time by Matthew DiGilarmo. Under 10 seconds left, 8.9 exactly. There's a little bit of life in this North Attleboro team to the close this first quarter. Sean O'Leary with a deep triple himself. Can't answer. Oh, on the offensive glass. Caden Sullivan gets it back up to a 20-point advantage in this first quarter. 29-9 is how Franklin will close it out. And an impressive performance from the Panthers in that opening frame.
Yeah, geez, they really they look good other than a couple of missed three-pointers. They didn't do anything wrong. They were called for a couple of fouls down at the end. But they just look so good, and they're so calm in place, so relaxed that, everything, it's hard for things to go against them, especially in a game like this.
The defense they play, too, they're not changing their play style against a different opponent. You might see an opponent with no wins on your schedule and think, hey, maybe I can try this. They haven't done anything out of character. They have played the same game that's got them to an 8-1 record. They haven't looked at this North Attleboro team as anything less. They have respected them as an opponent and still come out and played their game. And again, that man-to-man defense, their help when driving to the lane, their ferocity, the stamina that they've played with defensively all season long. And again, cutting off those passing lanes. They've gotten the transition buckets so many times.
Yeah, they again, it's all keyed off of that defense, Josh.
So second quarter action at Lucas Frere. Jay Horrigan bringing you the action. Now the Red Rocketeers trying to get one to go there. That was Obachowski. It was saved, kept into him. He gets it to go. Andrew Schmidt saved it from going out of bounds. Got it to Obachowski. And North Attleboro starting to find a little rhythm offensively. Now O'Leary works with it, going to the lane. Going to lean into the defender, waved off. Travel. So led with the left shoulder. Might have picked up that pivot foot trying to come back down. I think he was thinking of kicking out, but then he kind of felt him there with the shoulder and thought I'd go back up with it. But called for steps. So Obachowski handles it up once again, and now North Attleboro driving baseline drive. They're back out to Obachowski. Kicked in the corner there for Soli in a foul. Gonna go on Andrew Benoit.
We were talking before the game that it's interesting to see North Attleboro go through their struggles that they have the last several years. They used to be in the old Hockomock League before Taunton and Milford joined. It was always Franklin, Mansfield, and North Attleboro were the three big teams. That was back when Franklin assistant Ryan Perrin, his father was the coach of North Attleboro. And they were tremendous every year.
O'Leary with a triple there. He's got the and one tonight, a triple. Good for 7 from the captains of this squad. And look at the defense from O'Leary, too.
Yeah,
and
travel.
Travel called there. The North Attleboro guard there trying to get off a triple. And once again, that tireless defense, not just from Franklin overall, but from Sean O'Leary specifically there. Doesn't matter. Nobody's too big or too important to say to play defense for this Franklin team.
Yeah.
You see O'Leary there driving, good little spin, half shoulder turn, fades away, creates space, and O'Leary knocked it down.
Josh, you're right. That was a great spin, and even better for him to make that spin and get his bearings and get the shot off right away.
Strength is one thing, body control is another, and
Yeah.
Sean O'Leary possesses both as Andrew Schmidt works the other way, kicks it underneath to Obachowski. Good little reverse on the layup.
Yeah, it was a
Obachowski
nice
gets himself
pass.
another bucket. Now a triple from O'Leary, short off the front rim. So working the other way with it is Schmidt. Schmidt works to Obachowski. Back to Schmidt. Good little 1-2 game there. Schmidt goes to the lane. No good. Good defense as Justice Samuels is checked into the game now for Franklin as well. O'Leary had it knocked away briefly. Now kicked to O'Neal for his third 3 of the ball game. The lefty stroke has been good tonight. 37-13, Franklin out in front. And driving the other lane the other way, and that was Jack Peckham, the sophomore, is going to draw the foul.
You'll notice on that one where Caden had his arm straight up, and then he came down with that left arm, made it kind of an easy call for the official.
So Peckham heads to the stripe here, knocking down the first. And had that deep triple, too, in that first quarter. It was a good little momentum boost for this North Attleboro team. They needed something like that, and Peckham was the man to deliver as he takes the second free throw and knocks it down. So Franklin will work their way. 37-15, they're out in front here. 5:20 left in the second quarter. That's Conlon now kicking to the corner. It was Benoit now back up top. Bradley Herndon goes underneath the Samuels. I think he got a little bit of the under part of the rim there and went up with it.
Called a held ball.
So it'll be an inbound underneath for Franklin. Not sure if it was the rim underneath or if it was a hand from a North Attleboro defender. So Herndon to inbound, gets it into Conlon. Conlon drives to the lane, left-handed layup, no good. Collected there by Robichaud. Now that North Attleboro works the other way. Now Obachowski works in the lane. Kicks it out. Jack Peckham trying to get a screen from no, that was Rasoli there. Now work back out to Peckham once again. Left to right, little spin there from Peckham, leaning into the defender, getting it to go. Good bucket from Jack Peckham. Now the other way goes Franklin. Good look underneath. That was O'Neal kicking to Samuels. Now out to Bradley. Herndon's triple is no good. Jack Peckham with the outlet this time to Frasoli. Now quick ball movement from the Red Rocketeers. Giuliano kicking back out to Frasoli. Peckham, step back corner 3, no good. Don't think it quite caught anything there. Maybe a little bit of the net on the underneath. Quickly back the other way and a triple, no good. Couple misses back and forth now between North Attleboro and Franklin. Frasoli, the deep 3, no good. Collected now by O'Neal. See if either team wants to kind of settle the pace here. A couple back and forth possessions.
Yeah, nice pass.
And that's Samuels underneath. Bradley Herndon's had quite the night.
Yeah.
8 points so far, but also distributing well too. And Samuels gets himself on the score sheet. Now back the other way. Now Conlon going up with it. He looks
And it'll be on the pass.
to pass. I think Coach Neely right there with a fast break layup. He's going to tell Conlon to take that every time, but he saw the opportunity to draw the defender on and maybe work it to Herndon, but the contact there, going to give him an inbound underneath. So Bradley Herndon to inbound it for the Panthers. We'll get 2 subs, O'Leary and DeGiorgio to check in, so Herndon will check out. With Benoit as well. Inbounded quickly to Conlon. Conlon now to Samuels, gets it in the lane, collected, went through some contact, but no call, no good in the layup.
Looked like he kind of slipped on his first step there, Josh.
And Fasoli somehow couldn't get that to go. It was a good look in the lane for Chase Fasoli, the junior, this Red Rocketeer squad. He inbounds it now. So back up top to Fasoli. Kick back up to Brusso. Brusso working with it, trying to look for Fasoli. A little miscommunication, and Fasoli going underneath the drive towards the rim. He's thrown behind towards the corner. Turnover will be Franklin basketball. The Panthers out in front, 39-17. We appreciate you tuning in here on Franklin TV as DeGiorgio gets it to O'Leary. Great move in the post, splitting 2 defenders. He'll head to the line.
Almost looked like he caught one in the back of the head there.
Again, another trip to the line for Sean O'Leary, the 6'4" senior captain. Unable to knock down the first free throw. Hainwich will check into the game for the Red Rocketeers. Second free throw attempt from O'Leary here as he knocks this one down. Now North Attleboro works back the other way. That's Jack Peckham. He's been the primary ball handler for most of the night for North Attleboro as he works against DeGiorgio, and he'll draw the foul. DeGiorgio just tried to keep his feet moving there, and really not much he could do. Peckham has lowered the shoulder and really moved him himself, but block called on DeGiorgio.
And that part of that call may have just been time and score.
So the kick out now from the inbounds pass, and that
looked odd, didn't it?
it looked like it almost went in, but it was short hitting the net. Looked like it was a clean triple, but no good from Brusso.
Yeah, it I don't know if it missed the rim and that hit the net because it almost looked like it went in.
It looked like one of those NBA threes where it barely touches the net, but it was just kind of, from our angle, it was kind of awkward. Now, Conlon drives to the rim, goes up with a nifty left-handed finish for Joseph Conlon. Gets himself a bucket here to extend their lead to 42-17 here, approaching 2 minutes left in the first half. Pull-up triple from Obachowski, one of the leading offensive players for this North Attleboro team, DeGiorgio. Now kicks to O'Leary, another three, gets it to go. Sean O'Leary has been stepping outside quite a bit tonight, gets himself his second three-pointer. As Peckham works the other way, now it's Obachowski. Back to Peckham, and look at those two guards in the backcourt there, just hounding both of the Red Rocketeer guards here.
Making it so difficult to get any penetration led to that steal.
Again, passing it up, and O'Leary had it tipped away. He's out there looking for a foul. He's not going to get it. Working the other way now is Connor Casey up and gets it to go. So the mid-range jumper falls for Connor Casey. And now a quick triple the other way from DeGiorgio, no good off the back iron. And North Attleboro looks to work quickly. We're approaching 1 minute left in this first half. We appreciate you tuning in on Franklin TV. It's the Panthers out in front, and Casey thought about it. He'll kick back up top to Hainwich. Hainwich with a spin here at the free throw line. Had him in a isolation there. We haven't seen that much tonight. North
No.
Attleboro has been dealing with a lot of help defense. Hainwich was able to get Ryan Wilson one-on-one. He draws the foul. And they're going to have to do that to get back in this one. They're going to have to find those one-on-one matchups. They're going to have to create space because Franklin's help defense and cutting of the passing lanes has been impressive. And while
Yeah.
they're out in front by so much as Hainwich drops the first free throw.
Supposedly, Josh, we were going to have a special guest viewer tonight, former Franklin Panther point guard Justin Allen, a freshman up at Southern Maine. His dad told us he might tune in for the game. Hope he stays with it for a while, unless he's got studies to ignore.
Student athletes is the big case there, even at the Division I level, as another triple from Andrew O'Neill, only his fourth of the night, as Franklin extends it out to 48-21. Now a step back mid-range jumper from Peckham the other way, no good, and O'Leary pushing it in transition. O'Leary with the left hand, now up fakes, gets a defender up in the air, met some contact. Look at him fighting through. 1, 2, 3. Red Rocketeers are finally able to wrestle the ball away from O'Leary.
Clearly contact there.
And
That probably should have been called, but again, 48-21.
North Attleboro couldn't get it to go the other way. O'Leary once again dealing with contact. It might be that kind of night the rest of the way for Sean O'Leary.
He might get very frustrated. Nice travel call there. O'Leary's, I think, if he keeps doing what he does, and understandably so, he's going to get a little frustrated. Because at least one of those two trips, he clearly got fouled, I thought.
Wyatt Herndon with the basketball now. 2-1 left in the clock. And up fake, and O'Neill with a triple. No good at the buzzer. But not that Franklin really needed it. That first half was all Franklin Panthers, 48-21. Their lead at the halftime break. Jay, what'd you see out there that allowed them to jump out and stay in front?
Yeah, increasing the lead from the first quarter to the second quarter went from 20 to 27. And you almost got the feeling it could have been a lot more than that.
We're going to take a quick break for a halftime here. Be sure to stay tuned for second half action. Luke Spur and Jay Horrigan bringing you the action on Franklin TV. Stay right there. We'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to second half action. Lucas Frey and Jay Horgan here to bring you the call on Franklin TV. It was a exciting first half for the Panthers. They jumped out early and stayed on top 48-21 as we head into the second half of action. And Jay, what is it going to take for North Attleboro to break back into this one, if possible at all?
I'm not sure they can. They, as we were saying, Lucas, at halftime, they were just almost hoping and chucking. By the way, we have no officials yet. They're still in the locker room. Someone forgot to let them know that the clock was running down. So we'll wait till they get here. But North just, they didn't shoot that higher percentage, and they just shot whenever they had an open three-pointer, and that's kind of what they needed for those to go in to be able to compete at all.
Again, this was something that, kind of a trap game in the sense when we talked about it. North Attleboro still looking for that first victory on the season. And of course, here come the referees ready to start game action. And Franklin, of course, at the top of those Hockomock standings, and kind of a trap game in a sense. And Franklin has not bought into it at all. They have, once again, we've mentioned a couple times, really shown up and continue to play the game that, and still starters in here to start this second half too. That whole starting unit for Franklin back out there is DeGiorgio, who has more than a couple steals tonight, knocks that one away into the North Attleboro bench area. So Andrew Schmidt looks at, nope, it'll be for Foley to inbound, the junior for North Attleboro. Long ball in now to Jack Peckham. Peckham working against Bradley Herndon. It was a common matchup in that first half of play. Now work to Schmidt. Schmidt was driving baseline, and he'll be called for steps.
You know what's really impressive to watch is the way the Panthers, if one of the offensive players gets by their defender, the way they sag off and help out. And that at least tonight, that's been a huge key to their defense.
The way they jump the passing lanes and how overwhelming they are. Look at O'Leary sending another Red Rocketeer to the floor. This time he can't get it to go.
I don't know if that one may have been more of a flop than O'Leary knocking him down.
Peckham's three was no good, and then a little bit of contact there the other way for Foley. Looked that up, recollected it in the offensive glass, and a good little move by Obachowski. Couldn't get it to fall, though. Sullivan collects. He's going to push the pace pretty fast here, O'Leary. Now he fakes the three there, a little bit of a head fake, draws a second. Defender doesn't matter. Leans back to the left off shoulder and gets it to go.
So tough.
And that one's knocked away by Caden Sullivan. Sullivan up with the layup the other way, and a quick 2 buckets there for Franklin. 2 transition buckets. That was kind of the theme of the first half as North Attleboro works the other way. That's a good little drop set move there from Andrew Schmidt. Ooh, good behind the back there from Bradley Herndon. O'Neal thought about it. He only knocked down 4 3-pointers in that first half. O'Leary now has it stripped away. O'Neal able to fall on it. Now we're going to get a jump ball here. Arrow pointing in favor of Franklin. Two changes for the Red Rocketeers. Robichaud going to check in, as well as Connor Casey. A bit of a smaller bench than the Franklin High Panthers. Now O'Leary working with it. He pulls up from 3 again. That one off the front iron, no good. I think O'Leary tonight, more than a couple others that at least I've seen, is that one will stay with North Attleboro. He's taken a couple more threes tonight. I like to see that in his game.
He's the great thing about it, if he makes those, he's such a leader that I think it just triggers everybody else. Another steal there for Sullivan.
So Sullivan running in transition again. North Attleboro trying to find some offense. Look at DeGiorgio with the help there in the pass.
Yeah.
Now works back to Frasoli. Frasoli up through 2 defenders. It was a tough look. Couldn't get it to go. Caden Sullivan crashing the defensive glass there. Now DeGiorgio goes with the left hand. Look at the blazing speed to the rim. Henry DeGiorgio, another basket.
I'll tell you, I think the North Attleboro coach is trying to get his kids to slow it down a little bit, but you get caught up in this running game, and that's going to be a block against North Attleboro. But North has gotten caught up in the back and forth that Franklin's trying to create, and it's very hard for any team to keep pace with the Panthers.
And like you said, it starts with that defense, because when they're creating those turnovers, it allows them to play efficiently at that pace, as O'Leary's going to head to the line now. But when you can play at a fast and efficient pace with the talent and the veteran experience that they have, it's why they're such a tough team to beat.
Well, and they've also got on their team, they've just got tremendous athletes everywhere. You look out there now, you've got a Division I baseball commit. You've got O'Leary, who plays multiple sports. They're just such an athletic, fast team.
Both free throws don't fall for O'Leary. If there's been one issue, I guess you could say tonight, the free throw line hasn't been too kind to Sean O'Leary. But in a game tonight, something you might look to work on, as it really won't come into play tonight, at least thus far. But O'Leary must have heard me up here. Goes up with the layup, and another one to go for Sean O'Leary.
And if you watch closely, he is getting beaten up underneath. That he's getting hands. This will be the cleanest take he's had all night.
I think everybody was starting to kind of get a little riled up. He might throw down a dunk there. He did elevate, but unable to yam one down. 60-23 now, Franklin. We're about halfway through the third quarter. Now swatted away by Caden Sullivan. And really a defensive specialist for this Franklin team. If they have one true specialist, I guess. It's really just everybody together. But for you were mentioning how they play defensively.
Oh, and that's kind of where everything starts. North Attleboro takes a timeout. Actually, both coaches here, it's just an opportunity twofold to work on things in a game situation, and I think it at some point it's going to be an opportunity to get kids in that don't get a chance to play much, get them some varsity action.
And at least in some of the games that I've called so far this year, it's been kind of the common theme with the Franklin Panthers and what they've been able to do. But it's also, again, for a younger team, a lot of sophomores in this North Attleboro team that certainly are getting experience, and even players behind them that can. Like you mentioned, Coach Derek Smith trying to slow them down. This Franklin team, they want you to play fast. They want you to take up that speed because of how often they're cutting passing lanes and how often they're helping on defense. They want to be able to get you where you run down not thinking, you get caught in a corner, you're trapped, and then it's transition buckets for them. And it just, the more pressure you put on that way, the more fun they're really going to have. That's been the story so far tonight. As Frasoli tries to go to the far corner there. It was intercepted by Benoit. Benoit hands off to Bradley Hearn. He drives. Now cross-court pass. O'Leary, 2 defenders closed out. Barely grazes the rim, but Caden Sullivan there to clean it up.
Wow.
Frasoli, the 3 back the other way, and that one well short. And
4 minutes in to this quarter, Franklin's gone from a 27-point lead to a 39-point lead.
Look at Samuels there trying to dance through traffic, but travel called on Justice Samuels, who recently checked in. And as you mentioned, Jay, some new faces checking into the ball game as Flynn Baker steps onto the court now, along with the younger Samuels. Some different guys getting some minutes
like
here.
Same thing. North Attleboro's going a little deeper into their bench.
Peckham, the primary ball handler once again for the Red Rockets, working against Herndon. O'Leary tried to poke it away. Peckham fought through the contact. Couldn't get the layup to go. Now Herndon pushing in transition. Herndon cuts it to left. Good pass underneath to Samuels. He'll kick it out now to Conlon. Now back around to Flynn Baker. So that was Benoit, not Conlon, and O'Leary threw that one into the fan section.
These games, from an officiating point of view, are the hardest games to ref. The 80-82 back and forth physical Franklin Mansfield games are difficult, but this year you don't know what to call. You don't know what to call. You don't want either team embarrassed or either team embarrassing the other team, but you want it to end, as do both coaches.
And sometimes those type of games can get chippy and
Oh,
such too,
yeah.
and it becomes a very tough game to kind of mediate in the
Yep.
sense to make sure everything goes smoothly and no need for suspensions or anything else going on. And having played in athletics, it obviously can go that way.
It can, and that's your main objective, I think, is you want to kind of control it so it doesn't head that way.
We haven't seen any chippiness tonight between either of the teams.
No.
Of course, as you know, you bring different guys off the bench, different guys trying to, kind of prove themselves. Sometimes emotions can get the better of you, but avoided that thus far tonight. 64-24 the score as Chris Hainwich knocks down the first free throw for the Red Rocketeers and looks to knock down the second, which is short off the front iron. A 40-point advantage. Good behind the back. Bradley Herndon's gone to that move a couple times tonight. Not too deep in the bag, but a good move. What a look there from O'Leary to Samuels going up with it. Draws the foul. This Franklin team continues to play at a high level, making the extra pass. And again, not getting greedy, not doing anything that they typically wouldn't do against a team that they weren't up 40 against. Samuels heads to the line. Logan Shiner McCracken checks in for North Attleboro. I think that's the first minutes we've seen
I think you're
from
right.
the junior.
Yeah.
2:18 left as Samuels knocks down both. Obachowski was the other way. Now to Forsoli, another quick three into the shot clock. I mean, it's really the only way that they're going to get back into this one. And North Attleboro certainly is giving it their best effort. Now the other way, that's Andrew Benoit for the three. Andrew Benoit knocking down the triple, the senior, to make it 69-24. Under 2 minutes left to play in this third quarter. Once again, Lucas Ferrer and Jay Horrigan bringing you the action on Franklin TV. Appreciate you tuning in. It was an effort the other way from Obachowski, no good. Now in transition, O'Leary to the rim through contact. Shiner McCracken putting his life on the line there, looking to draw the charge. Now a good look underneath to Forsoli and Ann Wannen. One of the lighter calls of contact on Forsoli as he went up to finish off the end one. It was a really good look there from Andrew Schmidt. Couple changes for the Panthers. O'Leary checking out along with Bradley Herndon. Certainly done more than enough tonight as Wyatt Herndon checks in.
That's it. I believe this is this Wyatt's first appearance tonight?
I think he played a little bit in the closing of the first half.
Yeah.
Ryan Wilson also checking in there as Justice Samuels works up there towards the top of the three-point arc. That's Benoit, who had that recent triple, and now Wyatt Herndon driving. Good little kick out. Moving it around the three-point arc now is Franklin. Now Herndon, now a kick back to Flynn Baker, gets it to go. That was really good ball movement there by Franklin.
And this is what you have an opportunity to kind of work on now with these younger guys.
Looking baseline, that was Shiner McCracken. He kicks out to Forsoli, going up with the left, kicking it back out. Now Obachowski, the three, no good. So 35 seconds left here. Shot clock and game clock just fractionally off. We'll see if Franklin decides to hold it for all of that or attacking opportunity. Benoit with it now. Now to Wyatt Herndon. Now the extra pass to Samuels, who swings it right back around to Herndon. Now into the corner to Wilson. Samuels. All 5 Franklin players out around the arc. Wilson to Herndon. Back to Benoit, who drives through the lane. A little bit of contact with Shiner McCracken. North Attleboro works with it the other way. Layup up and good. You hear the buzzer go off there. Andrew Schmidt beats the buzzer, but they certainly would have their work it out for him here in the fourth quarter. 74-29 is how we close the third quarter between Franklin and North Attleboro. Just a commanding advantage from the Panthers and more of the same from the first half.
Yeah, they just were on in everything they did. They didn't do, or it didn't seem like they did anything wrong in that quarter at all.
And it's just been a host of different names, too. You have Flynn Baker stepping in, hitting a triple. You had Bradley Herndon leading the way. You have Andrew O'Neill, who knocked down a couple triples. Caden Sullivan ran it well in the break. We've seen in other games past, Henry DeGiorgio's played some really good ISO ball. Haven't really needed the isolation ball from him at all. He's had a couple transition buckets. It's really just been a defensive masterclass from the Panthers so far tonight. How many transition buckets? But anytime they have been able to get into a half-court set, North Attleboro has been able to slow them down. The outside shooting in some of the face-up game from Sean O'Leary has been really impressive. You saw there with that passing for that Flynn Baker 3. They have multiple ways that they can beat you, and
the biggest question I've got coming out of that third quarter as we head into the final quarter of tonight's game is nice job there by the Panthers. Logan Shiner McCracken. Is that the name of a character from Happy Gilmore? It could be.
Well, there's Shooter McGavin, but I'm not sure.
Shooter McGavin, okay.
Shooter McGavin's who.
Shiner McCracken sounds like it should have been.
It's a villain name, and Franklin hoping he doesn't turn into the villain tonight as Ryan Wilson knocks down a triple. Driving the lanes, Obachowski, no good once again. Now
and he's hurt.
Down in pain, no stoppage here, working himself to his feet.
Can't run. By the way, that's...
Coach came out to try and help him up, but he gets back up.
Wow.
There's no stoppage there.
Coach cannot run on the court in the middle of play.
So now the Franklin Heights and Wyatt Herndon a triple from the top of the arc. Kept in there by Frasoli as it was Joseph Conlon who was in the area too for the Panthers. So North Attleboro looks to work into an offense once again, now trying to work it underneath. Not a kick there, caught off the bottom of the leg by Flynn Baker, and Coach Neely was telling him to slow it up there. So they were trying to run in transition again, maybe take a little air out of the ball, possession by possession, Franklin. So nearly up by 50. Conlon thought about it. Wyatt Herndon now as they work it back around the top of the arc. Really kind of a small ball style lineup for Franklin, and like Jay, you had mentioned, when you get to see different things at this point in the game, it might be something they have to go to in the future. Maybe chasing a team down. A lot of contact there. Conlon trying to fight through it. Ref quick to make the call there. As we mentioned, the job of the referee at this point, too, is to make sure and maintain safety.
Yeah.
So 77-29. Just under 6 minutes left to play here. And a good look in off the inbound to Conlon. He ran free right through the key, put the layup up and in. North Attleboro back the other way. It was Andrew Schmidt now working to Jack Peckham. Peckham working it out to DiGialarmo. And the size differential, too, between these two teams has been apparent, too. Even the guards towering over as Jack Peckham gets the and one to go, and really has been a bright spot for this Red Rocketeer side. 7 points, now up to 9. Chance to get into double figures and be the lone North Attleboro player there if he knocks down this free throw. And again, when you're in a game like this, if you're North Attleboro, that's what you start to look for, the bright spots.
Yeah.
And Jack Peckham's been one of them as he knocks down the free throw to get to 10 points on the night.
You know, for North, it gives them an opportunity to try to work on their defense, obviously playing against such a strong offensive team. You know, a lot of the players are going to work harder in this game than they would in a practice.
So Samuels gets a layup to go there. The big thing being, too, is that obviously with Franklin's going to try to slow it down. So if you're crisper on offense, you don't allow them to run in transition, you will see more of those half-court sets. So it is something that you certainly can work on, and coach can pull up in film and make those adjustments. That was Belanger that was in. I think that's the first action we've seen from him, and I think
He's
stepping out there was DiGirolamo, but some of the first actions tonight from Belanger as well, and Brusso checking in now.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure there are people that are watching. I'm sure there are people that are here watching it live. One of the questions now is whether or not the Panthers can break 100. And just Coach Neely, the way he is, he's going to have these players use as much of that 35-second clock as possible. Now, the way they're shooting, they could do that and still easily break 100.
Especially with how they've been shooting from the outside.
Yeah.
And look at that bucket there from Conlon. You might be speaking into an existence, a reverse announcer's jinx, if you will. On the positive side for a team. Gets it to 83. There's another bucket from Conlon, who's come on strong with his extended minutes. A little bit of contact there.
Yeah,
two
that was
off the
interesting.
ball. And a bucket there for the Red Rocketeers, but as it gets late into these games with big point differentials, type of interactions which you're trying to avoid there, but nothing really coming of it after. So Franklin looks to work into their offense. Now up fake from Flynn Baker. Now back to Wyatt Herndon. Underneath to Conlon. What a feed from Wyatt Herndon. He snuck in behind the two low block defenders. Wyatt Herndon, a great dime in there. Red Rocketeers the other way. That's DiGirolamo who gets it into the lane and can't get the layup to fall. Not a bad drive there to the left hand of Matthew DiGirolamo, the sophomore. Now Wyatt Herndon over to Ryan Wilson. A foul called there. It's going to be on Jack Peckham. So a couple more changes now for North Attleboro as they're regularly rotating a couple new faces in here, whistle by whistle. About 3 minutes left here. Appreciate you tuning in on Franklin TV. Lucas Fred, Jay Horgan bring you to the action. Wyatt Herndon and Ryan Wilson working it back and forth between each other. Flynn Baker as well. Again, chewing up as much of the clock as they can. And as Jay mentioned, still a chance of getting 100 there as Justice Samuels drops the shoulder, turns, makes a good move.
Really nice move.
As they approach ever so closer to that 100-point mark, and oh my goodness, called the other way. I think it was off the ball there. It would have been a good bucket from DiGirolamo, but a foul off the ball.
He was involved, I believe, with kind of that off-the-ball little pushing we saw the last time down.
We'll see if that, we hope it doesn't become an ongoing theme.
You understand, well.
Frustration, at least you do.
Yeah, and you don't want to see it devolve into something where, like you were saying earlier, Lucas, where the kids could get penalized, possibly have to sit a game.
Especially for a Franklin team that's looking to achieve so much, and a North Attleboro team that's going to need all the help they can get. And obviously a lot of young guys, they want to get experience, and not that kind of experience.
Right.
You want to set your foundation. You want to set your culture. And look, another great inbound. Conlon just runs free again, right through the middle. Joseph Conlon continues to have himself a night. His extended second half minutes. Back the other way. That was Belanger, no good. And trying to save it there was Safin Musa. Unable to do so. I think his first action of the night as well. So everybody getting a little action on the court from both sides here as Franklin up by a healthy margin.
So I'm going to say this game, I had a game last night out in Central Mass that was a 45-point game, and I think we were done in an hour and 5. These guys are going to be done right about the same, and that's not normal for high school. But you see, right now, they're just standing there, not even moving till they get under 10 seconds on the shot clock.
And like you said, still making that push for 100. Joseph Conlon on the offensive glass. It'll reset the clock again.
And they just stand there, and North isn't going to put any. And now the coach calls them out.
Super, super quiet here. We might be the only voices going on in
Be
the
careful
gym
what
right
you
now.
say. I've gotten in trouble in quiet atmosphares like this. Justice again.
Oh, my
sends it
goodness,
down.
Justice Samuels hamming it down. If you're going to wait over a minute for somebody to do something on the basketball court, Justice Samuels made sure that it was worth that wait.
That absolutely was. And it didn't even look like that was a possibility when he got the ball. He was kind of slipping and sliding, and all of a sudden, Justice wants the ball back now.
His bounce is incredible as a sophomore. We've seen how springy and how reactive he is defensively and the role that he's grown into so far this season in Franklin, the spark he provides off the bench. And that's just another moment, another dunk in the season for Justice Samuels, but just another moment of what he can bring to this Franklin team, not just this year, but in the future.
And he has been so fun to watch. It develop, he's obviously grown. Going to have a shot clock violation.
Franklin just letting it tick all the way down. 1.5 left. And 91-34 looks like it's going to be the final. Yep, that'll be the final from Franklin High here in Franklin, Massachusetts. A healthy win for the Franklin Panthers tonight. Jay, is there anything you saw that you think that anybody else didn't see? I mean, it was quite the impressive performance in Franklin.
Yeah, I think we talked about it all throughout the game. The team played well. They played as a team early on. They really ramped up their defense, which is a key for the Panthers. Everything comes off their defense. They were able to work on that. I don't even know. There's not much you could talk about, other than O'Leary missing the dunk or not being able to dunk. Maybe that's what
couple
CJ
free
goes
throws
with.
from O'Leary that I'm sure that he individually, will reapproach once again. But
And I would think, too, some of the young men's, by the time we got to the second half, the Franklin players' concentration wasn't there. They were so far ahead. It was like playing Franklin Summer League rec basketball is what it turned into. So impressive showing, nonetheless, by the Panthers.
yeah, regardless of who you're going up against, you still have to show up and play it. They don't play the games on paper. They play them on the court, and it's what happened tonight as the Franklin High Panthers moved to 9-1 and 6-0 in conference. North Attleboro dropping to 0-6 in conference, 0-8 on the season. We appreciate you tuning in tonight on Franklin TV. Lucas Ferrer, and for my partner Jay Horrigan, signing off.
And thanks to Meredith for
Meredith
keeping
as
us
well,
both
too.
in line here.
We appreciate the production help
Yes.
as well. For everybody at the Franklin TV crew.
Lucas, it was a pleasure working with you and also working with Josh in the first half.
Wasn't a tale of two halves, tale of two names.
There we go.
Signing off from Franklin High.